On this episode, we're going to be taking a look at Raicillas right here on the Tequila Hombre. Coming up next. Hello and welcome to this episode of Mezcal Monday and the Tequila Hombre. Good Monday evening. I hope you guys are all doing well. I'm excited because today we're talking about Mezcal. It's Mezcal Monday, which I love exploring mezcals, and I hope you guys do too. And today we're talking about a certain kind of mezcal, and we'll kind of talk a little bit about that here to start things off. It's called Raicilla, right? Okay, so everyone's like, well, I thought this was Mezcal Monday. Why aren't you doing a mezcal? Well, they're all mezcals. By definition, they're all mezcals. Okay, and a lot of people, there's a lot of confusion as to like what things are, and you know, everything that is made from agave, cooked agave, is a mezcal. All the spirits are mezcals. Okay, but they can't be called mezcals because of the designation of origin. All right, so there's different regions that have different spirits. So mezcal comes from 9 states in Mexico that are designated as producing states, and they'll actually change it because there was actually less. I think it started with 6 states, and then it went to 8 states, and then they added it. Puebla, I think, was the last one they added, and they're always looking at adding more places and stuff when people are like, hey, we've been making mezcal since, you know, before time, and now we can't make it. Is that what you're trying to tell them? So, you know, they change it, and they add more states, and they'll subtract states. You know, it all depends on how people work things out. So mezcal can only be made in 9 states in Mexico, and Jalisco is not one of them. And so Jalisco has tequila, right? So tequila can be made in Jalisco, and so that's another mezcal. But they have another one as well that could be made in Jalisco, which is called Raicilla. And Raicilla is basically originally originated as a moonshine from Jalisco. You literally would buy it from people selling it on the street in Jalisco. So let's talk a little bit about Raicilla. It's basically made in the state of Jalisco. It's made in 2 areas of Jalisco. It's made in either the Sierra Occidentals, which is the mountain range in Jalisco, or it's made along the coast, like Puerto Vallarta. So that's the main regions of Jalisco where you'll find Raicilla. And even today, I get people all the time, they're like, hey, I'm going on vacation in Puerto Vallarta. Can you tell me like a good place where I can get tequila and stuff? Well, if you're looking for tequila, you're missing out on some really good opportunities while you're in Puerto Vallarta, where you can actually pick up some really good Raicillas and really kind of expand your experience and picking up some of these really cool agave spirits that are made right there in Puerto Vallarta. You can buy them from people. They still have people that sell them on the street. You can still find some. Or if you want to take a trip up to the Sierra Occidental Mountains, you can go up there and find some tabernas. We can go and actually watch it, see it being made and taste it and sample it, and even pick up some bottles and stuff from them as well. So there's a lot of cool things that you can do while you're in Jalisco, not just the tequila things. So you can really kind of expand your horizons. All right. So let's talk a little bit about the mezcal that we're going to talk about today. It is called El Lobo de la Sierra. Now, it is made by a gentleman named Don Gerardo Pena. Okay, he is the same guy that there's a brand of Raicillas that are kind of like the first brand that was imported into the U.S. and they're one of the more popular brands. It's called La Venenosa, and Don Gerardo Pena makes their puntas Raicilla for La Venenosa. So if you've ever had the puntas, it's made by Don Gerardo Pena. Okay, so it's made up in the Occidental Sierras. That's why it's the Lobo de Sierra. And Don Gerardo Pena is actually known as the wolf of Sierra Occidental, or Lobo de Sierra Occidental, Sierra de la Sierra. So that's why it's called that, because it's his nickname. He's actually known as the wolf. That's the nickname that he has. All right, so it's made in his taberna up there in the Sierra Occidentals. They use Maximiliano agave, which it can really produce some really interesting and funky flavors if you've ever had it, depending on who makes it and what they do with it. It's a very interesting agave and can really produce really interesting flavor profiles. So I'm really looking forward to doing the tasting and talking to you through this one. So they cook the agave using an adobe oven. So this is kind of different than in the ground ovens. They don't dig a hole and cook it in the ground. Instead, it's done in an adobe structure. They build like a hollow like mound of dirt that they stuff with black oak, and they set it on fire, and they get it really hot and stuff inside. And then once it gets red hot inside that brick adobe, then they stuff the agave in there, and then they seal it up tight, and then they let it cook for days. Okay, so then after it is done cooking in the adobe oven, they then ferment it in wooden vats. So the big oak vats that they use to ferment the fibers, and they crush. I believe they crush by hand. So and then they ferment it in these vats, and then they use wild yeast for the fermentation. And then once it's done fermenting, then they distill it twice in stainless steel stills, and it comes out at 44.6% alcohol by volume. So so this should be really good. I'm really looking forward to this. Now, with Raicilla, you're really going to expand your palate. You're really going to taste some things that are interesting, okay? So that's one of the things I like about it is it takes you on a journey. It takes you on a ride, and that's kind of fun because you really can experience something that you're like, wow, I never tasted a tequila that tasted like this, you know? And that's one of the things that's nice about the journey with Mezcal. You can jump it. One day it's like, and I feel like going out and having a spirit, some agave spirit, but I want something that's going to be along the lines of like tropical fruit instead of like a typical tequila flavor profile. And I could pick one out that's a mezcal and say, oh, I remember this one's got a lot of really good tropical fruit, and I could sit and enjoy that. Or if I say, hey, I want something that's more on the cheesy notes with a little bit of fruit in it as well, then you can grab a Raicilla that has that. Or if you want something that's really kind of funky and different that's going to blow your mind, you can find a Raicilla that does that too. So not all Raicillas are the same. Not all Raicillas are going to be funky and weird and cheesy. It all depends on what agave they use and how they process it, how they run their processes. All right, so this one is I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to telling you guys a little bit about this one. The man that makes this makes good stuff, so this should be good. We do have this on fermented still. It's for $95.99. I think is the price on it right now, and I think we only have like 10 bottles. So we bought 2 cases, and I got 2 bottles of it because I love this stuff, and that's the reason why we get it to unfermented still a lot of times, just because I can get it, right? Why not? So let's take a look at this one in the glass now and see what we got. So it coats the glass beautifully. You can see all the legs forming on it. There, that's breaking right now, coming off the glass. So it's going to have a nice viscosity, a nice viscous mouthfeel to it. You can see the legs and stuff forming on there too. Looking at the Raicilla in the glass, it is crystal clear. Looks beautiful. All right, so let's see what we get on the nose on this. Now, Maximiliana can surprise you, okay? There's one person before had commented, hey, can you do like a guide to like agave and what flavor you can get from that agave? It's like, yeah, no, because you could try an espadín from one producer that tastes a certain way and try an espadín from another producer that tastes a completely different way. It all depends too on where it's grown. So there's no like set flavor profile. So Maximiliana, you can get some really interesting flavors from it from one producer, and then some totally different flavors from another producer. It all depends on, you know, terroir, where it's grown, what kind of environment it grew up in, and then as well as how it's handled during the processes. All right, so Not all Maximiliana is going to be like this. You could, if someone says, oh, that sounds delicious, I found this other Maximiliana Raicilla, I'm going to buy it. You could end up with something totally weird and funky, and it's not along the same lines. That can happen. It happens with mezcals all the time. So there's not like a set where it's not like, oh, if I buy a Tobala, it's all going to be super fruity and delicious. No, they can be different from different producers. You'll get different flavors. So this Maximiliana is from the Sierra Occidentals, and we're going to explore it right now. So on the nose, I get this really nice sweet cinnamon. Definitely a sweet cinnamon. Some fruit. I'm getting like like papaya, and then it has this beautiful cocoa. It smells like cocoa. It has a beautiful like cocoa, like dark chocolate-esque smell to it. It smells really good. It's really clean. I'm not getting any smoke on the nose at all. No smoke. But it smells really good. All right, so let's see what we get on the flavor profile on this. Wow. So it is super, wow, super creamy on the mouthfeel. I can just feel it coating my tongue. Super oily, really nice viscosity to it. It coats the tongue beautifully, and then it just overwhelms your flavor, your mouth with this flavor. Wow. I need to take some more. Hold on. Okay, so for me, it starts with a little bit of mint. It's got a nice mintiness to it, right? And then followed by mint, you get a hint of anise, a little hint of a little bitterness that comes through. And then you get this, yeah, it's like dark chocolate. It's dark chocolate, yeah. You get this dark chocolate note that comes in that overwhelms your mouth, and it's wonderful. I'm a chocolate fiend. I love dark chocolate, and this is actually really good. I mean, so it finishes with this bittersweet chocolate note on the tongue that I think is phenomenal. I mean, so it started out with this mintiness, and then a little bit of anise, black licorice, and then it goes into this chocolate, bittersweet chocolate note, and it finishes with a nice blend of the bittersweet chocolate. So it's not a super sweet chocolate. It's got that cocoa nib-ish kind of flavor profile to it. It's got a little bit of the sweetness in there, so it really makes the chocolate pop, and it just sits on your tongue beautifully. And finishes with this bittersweet chocolate on your tongue. So it's not like super sweet where you're gonna go like, oh, this is really sweet. It's not super sweet. It's, you know, bittersweet chocolate. It's like dark chocolate, but dark chocolate low on the sugar levels. So it's like, you know, if you like buy a 72% dark chocolate, it's kind of along the lines of that. It's delicious. Wow, this is really good. This is super delicious. This has to be one of my favorite Raicillas so far, because I absolutely go crazy over dark chocolate, and this one's got it. And it's got this interesting bitterness that rides through on the end. It's not a bad bitterness at all. It just balances out that chocolate, the cocoa note nicely. So I like it. It's Very good. So how would I rate this? I'm going to give this one a full 5 agave, you guys. It is something I don't think anybody's really heard of. I don't think anybody's really heard of Lobo de la Sierra. The particular batch on this is Lot 13, made February 21st. And so we have more of this fermented still. So it's going to be the same batch. Which is, each batch can be different depending on how it ferments and what the crop was like and stuff. So that this batch, this is what you're gonna get. You're gonna get that chocolate note. So it's delicious. All right, so there you go. 5 agave for this. I love it. It's probably one of my favorite Raicillas. I do like the Puntas from La Venosa. It's good, but I actually prefer the Tigre de Sierra. Tigre de Sierra one more because it has a more interesting flavor profile. But the Puntas is very good that he does for La Venenosa as well. All right, so let's go check in with our subscribers and see what comments and stuff we have right now. So Todd says hello, and Puntas is fabulous. Yes, it's good. Agreed, Todd. Good stuff from the love of Mezcal. S. Johnson. Oh, he just wanted to say, off the topic, Tommy's Margarita is absolutely better than the recipe I was making before. Thank you for working. Oh, good. I'm glad your guests love it. I'm glad it worked out good for you. I'm glad. And Andy Sandoval says hello. So hello, guys. So, any questions about the Raicilla that I reviewed? I definitely recommend picking up a bottle and trying it, especially if you like chocolate. This is going to be something that I think is going to really blow your mind as to like, okay, so this is what Raicilla can be like. Now, I know I was watching a discussion on our Discord. If you're not a member of the Discord, you should join. It's great. You also get a membership for the Tequila Barrel and Agave Collective included with it. But a couple of the guys were talking about Raicillas, and they said, well, it's an itch I don't want to scratch that often because there's some really funky flavors and stuff that can be in some Raicillas. I think this is going to be one for them that they'd be like, well, all right, well, this is when I can drink more often because the flavor profile is absolutely wow. It's great. So EBA 101 says, sounds thumbs up. Good. Yeah, it's great. Brooks Round says, I'd buy it. Well, good. I bought it, and then after I actually did a little tasting of it yesterday, I bought another bottle because I liked it. This is really good. So I think you guys are going to really enjoy it, and I hope you do. And if you do, then post it in the Discord. Let me know that you liked it. And if you're not a member, join. It's only $10 a month. It's nothing. You get all kinds of benefits as being a member of the Tequila Barrel and Agave Collective. You get discounts on fermented still occasionally. You get access to some really cool limited edition spirits when we get them. Limited edition agave spirits like tequilas and stuff. And then if you want to join a membership on the YouTube channel, you get to ask questions and stuff during the reviews. And you get to ask questions during the interviews when I bring the producers on, as well as you get behind the scenes information and stuff from me as well. So that's it. So Todd wants to know, will it blow out? No, it won't blow out your palate at all. I don't think it's going to blow out my palate at all. No, I could drink this. I could drink this for, I'm going to drink this tonight with a cigar. So I can drink this for a while. It's not going to blow out your palate at all. Not at all. It's very delicious. Ryan says, I might give this a shot. The summer has been 90% Mezcal. I haven't touched tequila in a while. Yeah, that happens. Once people start jumping on the Mezcal and jumping into the Mezcal rabbit hole, the flavors and stuff are so good that they get wowed and they want to try more and more and more. And it ends up costing them a small fortune because Mezcals can be expensive because they're done in a lot smaller batches. But this one is phenomenal. I really love the chocolate note. That's something that's different. I don't really find too many mezcals where they have a dark chocolate note like this without it being like in a barrel, which I don't think you should age a good mezcal. Mezcal should not be aged. You can age tequilas because, you know, it gets to the point where everything pretty much, you know, the flavors are pretty much all you're going to get, you know, and then so it adds a little more since you can't use different agave and stuff for tequila. So it can really change the flavor profile and give you something different to have versus everything tasting kind of like the same. So, the Love of Mezcal says, we got the Tequila Temporada de Lluvias from La Luna and loved it. So creamy. Yeah, it's delicious. It's very good. It's very good. And it's a good representation of what even like a Weber Blue Agave made mezcal can taste like, which, you know, it's completely different than what you normally taste like in an industrial fabricated tequila. So off topic, should I grab those bottles of Tobala? But oh well. Oh, you should have. Oh, yeah. Well, no worries. What else was I was gonna say? Oh yes. Okay. An announcement for those of you too. There were some of you that were waiting for the El Bujo, the mango El Bujo. It is landed here in California and it's on its way to ferment and still. And so keep an eye. We should have it up on the site this week. So make sure if you were interested in grabbing that, you do. Some people have been waiting for their mango pachuga, which they do once a year, and they only do a small amount. It's going to be delicious. So make sure you grab it if you can, and you'll be in good shape. So any other questions or comments about this Raicilla? The El Lobo de la Sierra, which is made by Don Gerardo Pena, who's the same guy that makes the La Venenosa Puntas, which is delicious stuff. I'm going to definitely be drinking this stuff. It's really good. It's really good. One of my favorite Raicillas. All right, any other questions? Any other comments? Nope. Okay. Well, like I always say, life is too short. Oh, first of all, if you like the information I shared and you like learning about Raicillas and about Mezcals, click that like button for me. Give me a like. And if you're new, this is the first time you found the channel, checking out the live stream, didn't know about it, subscribe. Become a subscriber, because then you're notified every time that the video goes up or I go live. You'll get a notification if you click that notification bell next to it, and then you can join us here and you can learn even more and more and more all the time. It's free to subscribe. It's only cost you. It's something if you want to become a member and get a little deeper and deeper into it and get access to some really good limited edition tequilas and stuff, then you have to subscribe. So that is it for now. Until next time, like I always say, life is too short to drink bad tequila or Raicilla. So hey, pick up a bottle of El Lobo de la Sierra and you'll have a great tasting Raicilla that you can enjoy, and it works good for after dinner. That's why tonight I'm going to sit out and enjoy some of this chocolatey deliciousness. Okay guys, we'll see you tomorrow for the tequila review, and until